and welcome to our Betfred Sports Talk here in Crestmead Network Studios. I'm Katie with the Love to Beat Peter's fans. How are you doing today, Peter?
Yeah, great, thanks very much.
So first of all, we've got to talk about football, because football's been crazy this weekend. Premier League, we'll start with some nice news first. City had a great game there first of all, didn't Peter? How was City's game for you this weekend?
Well, I know we'll come to this later, but that guy who had a 4-1 victory the previous week, he's going to have done it again because he went for last week he went for 4-1. And he did it with Salah scoring first. Of course he did. That's the first time he's ever bet against a City player, because he usually goes with Aguero in the past and now Haaland at 4-1, and he always goes for 4-1. Well, he went and did it again, so they won 4-1 at Southampton. This time he's buying a slide for his grandchildren. Previously, as regular readers will know, he said that he was going to buy a lawnmower for his wife, which went down at House in the office. He comes from Moston, and he's a bit of a superstar in Betfred terms. Anyway, so City won 4-1, and then Arsenal could only draw at Anfield, which meant that City are 6 points adrift of Arsenal, but of course Arsenal have got to come to the Etihad. So Betfred now have City back as favourites. Their odds on 8-11 to go and win the title. They've got a game in hand, and they've got Arsenal at the Etihad. That's fast approaching as well. That'll be that'll decide the title by the looks of it. So Betfred have City 8-11, Arsenal 11-10.
And United had a great game against Everton where they won 2-0 as well. Good game for them, wasn't it, Peter?
Well, it wasn't as good as City's, but it was kind of an expected home win now, 2-0 against Everton. It means that the top four race is becoming a little bit kind of clearer now, in that we obviously think City and Arsenal will get to the first two places. Which way around it isn't, it's up for grabs, I suppose, but City favourites. And then we've got United 1-5, and Newcastle, they had a tremendous win at Brentford. They're 1-5 as well. So we think it'll be the two Uniteds, Manchester and Newcastle, taking up the third and fourth place. Tottenham, they bounced back. They're 5-2 now. They're third favourites for a top four finish. Liverpool 6-1, and Brighton, who were beaten by Spurs, they've drifted out to 10-1 now for a top four finish.
I think that Arsenal game yesterday might have been one of the best games I've seen all season. It was so, you thought they'd had it all the way through, and it was just so funny at the end. But I think fans have now kind of accepted that they may not win this title race now after seeing that game yesterday. Quite a bit of shame for them, but good for City fans, isn't it, Peter? Yeah,
it is. I do think that it looks like, or it seems like a defeat for Arsenal, but remember they did get the 1 point. Exactly. I think it seemed like a defeat because they were winning 2-0, and Liverpool came bouncing back. And that's clouded with controversy because the linesman apparently elbowed one of the Liverpool players. But if that's an elbow, I mean, it's one who didn't fly over and pretend he was bloody been assassinated the way he performs. I mean, that wouldn't have been counted as a foul in the game. So probably the linesman was just startled by him, I would imagine, and was just wanting to get him off, because certainly Robertson touched the linesman first. But no doubt we'll hear all about it, and it'll be the linesman who gets banned for 3 games or whatever, because he shouldn't really do that, of course. But then again, people don't realise the pressure that the officials are under in games like that, and he's probably just trying to shove him away, basically. He shouldn't have touched him, should he?
Absolutely not. And of course, the City played Bayern on Tuesday as well. Great little game there, isn't it, Peter?
Yeah, Haaland is 9-4 to score first in that game. Massively in form at the moment. 2 goals against Southampton at the weekend. So we go into this game with City 8-11 to win this first leg match against Bayern. Bayern 7-2. And to win the Champions League outright, Betfred have City 9-4 favourites. Bayern 7-2, Napoli 7-2, Real Madrid 13-2, Chelsea, they're still in there, of course, they're 14-1 shots. AC Milan are the outsiders, they're 20-1 with Betfred. So we've got Haaland 9-4 to score the first goal. people were thinking that Pep Guardiola was saving him for the Champions League. I think there's a degree of that because they often substitute him when he's done the business. He certainly did that at Southampton. He's 9-4 with Betfred to score first. Alvarez, he's 4-1. Mahrez 6-1. De Bruyne, who's now hugely back into form, 8-1. But the player of the moment for me is Jack Grealish. He's playing some sensational stuff at City at the moment. He's 9-1 to score the first goal. It's almost as if he's so brimming with confidence with Phil Foden out, because those two used to compete for the same sort of role in the team. And Grealish is relishing the opportunities that he's been given with Foden's operation. So Grealish is 9-1 to score first. Most popular scoreline bet is City to win 2-1. And Betfred have that at 7-1.
Great odds there, Peter. Thank you very much. And for United, they play Seville on Thursday. Another great game there, Peter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. For the Europa League outright, United are the favourites for that, 11-8. Juventus 5-1. Roma 6-1. And for the game on Thursday, United are 4-11, so odds on there to win that game. Seville 7-1. Marcus Rashford, if he overcomes his groin injury, he's 11-4 to score first. But Anthony Martial, he's back in form now. Yeah. In fact, it just shows a winning team. They're all desperately trying to get into it now. Martial, he's 7-2 to score the first goal. Fernandes, again, another player who indifferent at the beginning of the season, but has now rallied and is doing a lot better under the current regime. He's 6-1. Sancho, another one, he's 6-1. And Anthony 7-1 to score the first goal. Most popular scoreline bet is United to win 2-0, which is 11-2 at Betfred.
Great stuff there, Peter. And in the Betfred Super League, our favourites Warrington have now made it 8 on the bounce, which is pretty incredible, isn't it, Peter, really?
Yeah, they've done tremendously well. They just seem to find ways of winning. They had a player sent off for a stupid punch in the face of one of the opponents. Yet they still managed to achieve that fantastic victory with 12 men on the pitch. Yeah. So Warrington are now 3-1 to win the grand final. The same price as Wigan. You must never discount Wigan, who beat St Helens at the weekend. So Wigan are also 3-1. Saints still the favourites, but only just 7-4 to go on and win the grand final. I think these odds are going to be changing soon. And Saints, the way they're going at it, they certainly dipped in form, only just above mid-table at the moment. Catalans, they're 10-1 with Betfred to win the grand final. But the game that we're all waiting for now is Warrington against Wigan. Yeah. That'll be first and second again. And that's at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on Friday. That is a game not to be missed. That'll get a huge audience. And this weekend was the biggest ever attendance for a round of Super League games ever in the history of Rugby League.
And that's amazing to hear, isn't it? You know, that these games are still getting, or you're getting even more fans than they used to get. That's just incredible. And it shows how far the sport's come on in recent years as well, I think.
Yeah, you've got to bear in mind though that they did bill it as the rivals round, so there's lots of derbies in there. There was the two Hull teams, for instance. We had Warrington and Catalans, that could be described as a derby, but certainly Wigan and St Helens could. So they tilted it a little bit, the fixtures, but even so, it is a fantastic achievement.
It is.
That they should get that. They had Leeds and Castleford last night as well, so they're next to each other. So you can see how that sport is developing hugely.
It's fantastic to hear. And for our horse racing fans, we've got a national returns on Saturday. I mean, that has flown by for me, but I guess for you that's a busy time at work, isn't it, Peter?
It is. That's why we're here now on a bank holiday, because we're all in trying to get the odds together for what is the greatest day in British racing, basically. It's a fantastic achievement. It's one tremendous occasion. We take more on that day than we do at Cheltenham as a whole. It's massive. It's the day when everybody has a bet virtually, from people who've done anything at all about betting, and they do the pinch stickers guide, and they do all sorts of things to just get a bet on. We've done all sorts of surveys on this, and it is just the day when everybody wants to have a little flutter. So all eyes will be on Aintree on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we'll chat even more about that on Friday as well. I'm sure we definitely will. But in terms of some big winners, so fans of our paper will have read last week about the amazing John, who has this amazing 4-1 scoreline bet that he puts on every time City play, and he's won again, hasn't he, Peter? How has that happened for him?
Right, well, John Howarth, becoming quite a regular now. I interviewed him last week when he bet for the first time against the City player, and that's when he bet for Salah to score first and the scoreline to be 4-1 for City. And that came in, and that earned him £1,186.
Nice.
Because it would be unusual for City to beat Liverpool all here at home 4-1. And he said, as regular readers will know, that he was going to buy his wife a lawnmower, and he insisted it would be a cordless one so she could cut the grass at their house in Moston. Anyway, bring the clock forward a week, and he puts his regular bet on again, 4-1. But now it's Haaland, his City hero. And of course that came in.
Yeah.
So this time he's won another 350 quid from a £10 bet this time, because the odds weren't as wide this time, because it was playing the bottom club, Southampton. And they asked him what he was going to buy, fully expecting him to say a hedge trimmer or something else for his wife to do the garden, but he said he's going to buy a slide for his grandchildren. So they when they come around to the house, they've got something to do on the newly mown lawn. And he said, I want you to emphasise that I never buy anything for myself. It's always for other people.
What a nice guy.
What it does.
Sounds great. And you've had one more winner as well, Stephen White, who has won 47 grand. Peter, how has that happened?
Yeah, this bloke's from the East Riding of Yorkshire, Stephen White. He's a granddad, lucky granddad, as I've described him in the papers. And he certainly was lucky, because he had a £1 lucky 15 bet and won £47,000. He is inspired by Jane McDonnell's BBC series, The Cruise.
All right.
And he's always fancied going on a cruise. And that's what he's going to do now. It's a lifetime ambition of his. He's going to take his whole family with him. He's 63 years of age. He picked his horses by studying the form in 2 national newspapers, and then made his selections, and they all came in at Kempton and Doncaster, 3 at Doncaster and 1 at Kempton, and that's how he won 47,000 from a £1 lucky 15 wager. And Fred said that he's happy to be able to ensure that this guy fulfills a long-held ambition to go on a cruise. So that's fantastic news for him.
Great news. Good bet for making dreams come true all the time, aren't we, Peter? All the time.
That's what he likes to do.
Thank you so much. Well, if you do fancy a bet like these amazing people, you can bet online, in store, and via the Betfred app as well.